A couple of weeks ago, I picked up the Galaxy S24 Ultra, and this is actually my first Ultra device ever from Samsung. I have used their other S series lineup, but I've never used their Ultra, not even back when it was known as the Note. So this is my first one, and I want to share my thoughts on what I think about the Ultra lineup from Samsung, especially as someone that just came from the Fold 5, which is technically a larger phone if you look at it in the open mode, or a smaller phone if you look at it in close, where it's a little bit narrower, or I guess a lot narrower than an S24 Ultra. And to begin with, from the design, it's definitely a larger device, especially coming from the Fold 5. Whenever it was closed, it's a lot more narrow. I could definitely easily use it with one hand. The S24 Ultra, it's just no shot. I feel like I need to use both hands whenever I want to type. I was someone that used the swipe keyboard, and I just can't seem to get my thumb to reach to the other end of the keyboard to touch all of the other letters. But as someone that also uses my phone to be my main content watching machine, you really have to appreciate that larger screen. It gets very bright, and it also allows you to use picture in picture easily. You can scroll through a lot of different apps, and whenever it comes to watching YouTube, going to that full screen landscape mode, you do get a relatively large screen, almost the size of the Fold 5 when it's in the open full screen mode as well. The Ultra gives you that same size screen, whereas the Fold 5 kind of shows you that upper bar and lower bar, and then the actual screen or the actual video itself is the size of the S24 Ultra. And Samsung did also make this titanium similar to the iPhone 15 Pro. I personally feel like it is a little less heavier than the Fold 5, but maybe that's just because the Fold 5 is also compact and it feels like a small brick. I'm going to put up here the weights of the 15 Pro versus the S24 Ultra versus the Fold 5 so you can see the difference in weight. Being that it is a larger phone, it's always going to feel a little bit lighter just because it is a little bit more spread out. It's not, like I said, it's not compact. It's not just kind of focused in the center of the device. And even though I didn't experience the Ultra when it had the curved edges for the screen, I do like when it's a flat screen, especially for the durability of it. Whenever you're going to get multiple years of software updates, and as someone that's going to purchase a phone to last a long period of time, I do like that it adds a lot to the durability of it. All of the curved edge just left a little bit more space open to kind of break the screen of it. I know from firsthand experience coming from the Galaxy S8, which was my first flagship phone, having those curved edges honestly looked really great, but it wasn't really that durable. Whenever you dropped it, no matter where you hit, because of the curve around the screen, you basically were hitting the screen even if it landed on its side. Now, setting a flat screen instead, if you do a hit on the side of the device, you at least be hitting the frame of it rather than hitting the screen itself. And then other than that, the design of the whole phone, very similar to the S23 Ultra. It still has the cameras in the back. I would even say similar to any phone actually, with the cameras in the back. You have a flat rectangle. You have a full screen up front. That's similar to even the Fold. That's it. Also a flat rectangle, cameras in the back, and then a flat front. But the one thing that is different from this device over any other lineup of devices is that there is an S Pen integrated into the S24 Ultra. And I think this is a great accessory. You can use it to write notes. You can use it to do different design. You can use it to draw. You can use it as a Bluetooth to take different photos. If you want to go far away from the phone, just use the S Pen to click and take a photo. Now, I wish I had a whole different section for the S Pen specifically, but just with my 2 weeks of use, I used it at the beginning to play around with it, and then I just haven't touched it since. But if you are a power user of the S Pen, let us know down in the comments what are some other use case scenarios that you use the S Pen or that it comes in handy in your day-to-day life. But other than the S Pen, there are other features of the Ultra that I really liked, especially when you compare it to the Fold 5, and the first one being the battery life. This phone has such amazing battery life. I mean, it would be expected from an Ultra device, especially as someone that's not really using it as an Ultra device. I tend to end my day with anywhere between 48 to 60% battery life. I could honestly extend it out to 2 full days before I have to charge it. But because I do care a lot about having a phone on me at all times and being connected, I charge it every single night. Now, if you were to compare that to my Fold 5, there were some days where I would run out of battery by 8-9 p.m. and I would even have to charge it before I even go to bed. Now, that's mainly because it is a larger screen. It's more of a tablet. I'm always blasting the brightness. I rarely decrease the brightness, and I mainly use it in tablet mode. But even so, the S24 Ultra has really great battery life, very comparable to say the 15 Pro Max. That's another large phone. I just really enjoy that Samsung has great battery life on the Ultra device because there are other features that I'm going to be talking about that I think that really comes in handy. And the first one is the cameras. The cameras work really great, especially when you compare it to the Fold 5. Like I said, the Fold 5 has somewhat crappy video cameras, but the S24 Ultra works really great. They even have a Pro video camera option, which even something like the iPhone doesn't really offer. The Pro camera on the S24 allows you to set the different ISO. It allows you to set the shutter speed, the white balance, all of that within the camera app itself. I think that's really great. It's going to work well whenever you want to shoot, say, content. If this is your main phone, that battery life being extended is also going to help you out. And I know a lot of people are going to say, oh, it doesn't have Apple ProRes. It doesn't have all these great features that the iPhone has for video. But honestly, the Apple ProRes, I feel like, is a very niche use case. Everyday normal people aren't going to be using the ProRes option. I even feel like everyday users aren't even going to be using the Pro camera feature on the S24 Ultra, but it's great that it's there. For the Apple ProRes, those files are just so large that I don't think it's worth it even for normal use. But the S24 Ultra having that Pro camera feature without it having to be a third-party app, I think works really great for anyone that wants to take just normal photos of, say, the family, of, say, a scenery that you go with whenever you travel. The S24 Ultra is going to work well for that. And then you also get that 100x zoom creeper lens, which honestly I feel like is more of a gimmick than anything. I can't see how an everyday user would be using the 100x zoom just on a regular basis. Again, just like the S Pen for me, I used it a couple times when I first got the phone and then it just kind of died out. Something that didn't die out though is the Galaxy AI features. It launched with the S24 Ultra, and then for me with the Fold 5, I did end up getting it about a month or so later, but using it on the S24 Ultra, I mean, it works just as fine, just like it did with the Fold 5. The two main features that I use are circle to search whenever there's something, say, in a reel. You guys know me, I have a desk setup that I like to keep clean. I like the way the accessories look, so whenever there's a video where they're not really talking about the accessories and there's something I like using circle to search to see what accessory that is. And then the second one is summarize. I do like using Samsung Internet whenever I want to read or research up on some articles. I do like using that summarize feature because then it'll just give you bullet points rather than having to read a whole article, where sometimes blogs will add a little bit of fluff, which I don't really care for. I just want to see what the points are. And all of these features are great, but they definitely come at a price. This phone comes in at $1,300 full price. It even tops the iPhone 15 Pro Max that comes in at $1,200, and the only thing that tops the S24 Ultra are going to be the foldables that come in closer to $1,800. So you might be asking yourself, who is this phone really for? And I think it's going to be for power users, whoever's using a phone to the full capabilities of it. Say the S Pen is one of the only phones that actually comes with a pen integrated into the phone. So that one's going to be really great for, say, artists that are drawing, anyone that uses kind of the hybrid note-taking technique. So you can use the S Pen to take notes and then either pass it to a physical one or just keep those notes as well in your phone. And then also whoever is using this as their main camera, you can set up your phone on a tripod and then use the S Pen clicker to start or take photos with it as well. And then also at that price, Samsung does allow you to use Samsung DeX with this phone. So again, if you're going to be a power user of your phone, you can use this as kind of your main computer to write all of your documents. If you're a student and all you really need is something as simple as Google Drive to write all of your documents, use the Excel, use all of that through Google, then this phone is definitely going to work great. You can hook up external accessories. You can hook up a Bluetooth keyboard, a Bluetooth mouse, and really use it kind of more in the desktop version of it. And again, luckily for you, the battery works really great. So if you don't have a docking station that will charge your phone as you use it with DeX, you can always just hook it up with a USB-C to HDMI cable, and having that larger battery will allow you to use it and then possibly even finish the day without killing the battery. This phone really is really feature packed, and Apple even posed a question of what is a computer, and the S24 Ultra can be your laptop with DeX, it can be your notebook with the S Pen, it can be a drawing tablet with the S Pen, and it can also be your main main camera if you're a content creator and you want to use all the cameras within this phone. So realistically, if you're going to be using all of the features within this phone, I do think that it's going to be worth it. Those $1,300 are definitely going to be put to use. But if you're someone that's not going to be using all of the features in this phone, I think you can stick with the S24 lineup. If you like the larger phone, you just go with the S24 Plus. If you like a smaller phone, stick with the S24. Those are also still great phones and work just as well. But what are your thoughts? Do you think that the S24 Ultra is definitely the phone to get regardless of any of those features? Let me know down in the comments. As always, thank you guys for watching. Click here to watch another one of my videos, and I will catch you guys in the next one.